One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello. And welcome, everybody, to another fine episode of The NIKO Show. I'm your host, NikoTheLegend, or in Twitch's case, NikoLegend. They wouldn't allow the for some reason. I think maybe because it was taken or something. I can't remember. But don't quote me there. Hello, welcome, everybody. I bet you're excited to continue this awesome subject that we didn't get even close to finishing on our last episode. And that was continuing, we were talking about the top 100 best games, and I know what website you're talking about, right? That you're not wanting to hear any news from, really, because they're a bunch of plebs. But IGN.com did it. They usually do these lists, these types of lists maybe like 3 times a year, maybe twice a year. But it is an interesting list nonetheless, because it's not easy to do a top 100 video games of all time list. And yeah, we were going down the list last time, and I kind of want to continue it again, just one more time, because I had such a fun time talking about it and discussing my gaming memories with some of the games that that I played that were on the list. So why not just do it again? And yeah, the people that were there last time, which I am eternally grateful for, they were talking about it as well. So it was a kind of nice discussion. We were able to bounce ideas back and forth and talk about our own gaming memories with it. So it's very, very fun. So we'll see how far we can get in the hour we have. But without further ado, let me just get you caught up on what I am doing as of late. Still doing my personal trainer program. Still trying to become a personal trainer. Just reading. It's a bunch of reading, a bunch of medical terminology that have to do with personal training and the steps and systems that are involved with working out and getting into that fitness mode, and you know, so on and so forth. You get kind of the gist of it. You've seen personal trainers at gyms. If you guys go, you can see how extensive their in-depth description on how to do things properly. It's a lot of stuff to accumulate. So I'm doing that right now still. Just got back from outside, and it's pretty hot out in Florida right now because the seasons are changing. It's now turning into springtime. We had actually a pretty cold winter, believe it or not. It didn't snow, of course, but there were a lot of cold fronts during this winter season, so it's pretty nice to experience that. My cat sure loved it too. And let's see, in the gaming verse, I am still playing Far Cry 5, and you know, it's been out for at least a week now, which is very exciting because the game is fantastic. If you haven't picked up Far Cry 5, please check it out. If you want to go back to America and Montana, take out some crazy cult people and with your best dog buddy, and with a shotgun and roaming around the roads and blowing shit up and all this crazy fun stuff, by all means, please try out Far Cry 5 because it is an amazing game and it's well optimized, and Ubisoft has done it again. And there's no microtransactions, especially in the story. Ooh, Shadow of War should learn from that, shouldn't they? Shadow of Greed indeed. But yes, and then also, as you can see what I've been streaming lately, I've been playing The Old Republic. I started playing it again because it's a fun-ass game. I'll just say it out. I'll just blatantly say it. It's a very fun RPG MMO game that's an MMO, but really heavily story-based as well, because if you love BioWare games and you know what BioWare is capable of, well, just think of that just in MMO form and with your favorite gaming universe or sci-fi universe. As of late, not becoming mine anymore because, you know, recent Star Wars movie releases have been just full of love and inspiration, right? But nonetheless, the game is still fantastic. It came out in 2011. It's still going pretty strong. It still has a, well, I wouldn't say a healthy subscriber count. People are saying like roughly like 250,000 subscribers, and yeah, it's a very underrated game, and it's EA. EA is really bad at marketing, of course, and I guess because in the beginning, I guess the Old Republic didn't really have a good end game system going on for them for looting. So a lot of the competitive people fall out of that, and a lot of competitive people play MMOs, majority. So it's left with just casual, cool people left behind. You know, I'm a competitive person too, but not to the competitive point to where it's like I start hating on everybody and shit talking them and be like calling them pieces of shit for not knowing how to do a dungeon or something. I mean, we all gotta start somewhere, right? So I'm glad that maybe most of those people are out of there, maybe, but I'm sure there's still competitive people left behind. But so that's the Old Republic. Like I said, play with a couple of good buddies of mine. It's a ton of fun. You guys should check it out. The Old Republic, you can play for free to play on Origin. And then yeah, still playing Far Cry 5, and then I'm still streaming Persona 5. Usually it's my late night streams that I stream that game. It's a ton of fun. Still playing that game. Loads of hours and loads of RPG content. I'm excited. I'm excited. I can't wait to beat those games. Well, not the Old Republic, but I can't wait to beat Far Cry 5 and Persona 5. Far Cry 5, Persona 5. Wow. Slap at the 5-finger slap in the face. Okay, so we can actually start diving in. We spent a good few minutes discussing what I've been up to. Still writing my book. still writing it. Believe it or not, I'm still writing it. Still working on it. It's just a slow process because I take my time with this stuff. So we left off with getting through 100 to 90. So we start off from rank 100 and we made it to rank 89. We're on 89. So let us begin. And it starts off with one of my favorite games I've ever played in my entire life, and which helped me develop my gaming passion as it is today. Childhood memories, you never forget it, right? Not the beatings from your parents, but just, you know, video game memories. Those beatdowns. Okay, so like I said, this is IGN in a nutshell. So let's, I wish I could get rid of this scroll bar right here. Oh, they already did their whole 100 list. So that's pretty intense. Okay, so number 89 is Mega Man 3, released in 1990 on the original Nintendo. Yes, that's right, game. That's right, game. This is the game that did it all for me. This is the game that made me who I am today. Blue Balls Man with a dog. Maybe that's why I have fascination for dogs and I love dogs. If Mega Man 2 took a hot beat and made it hot strong, then Mega Man 3 took that song and made it the basis for the masterpiece of an album. Capcom's third adventure on the NES kept all the nail-biting difficulty and pitch-perfect platforming of the original games, but introduced a handful of new characters and mechanics that made it the absolute best in the series. That is the truth, my folks. They have mastered their craft. That is the truth. Mega Man 3 introduced a trio of elements that made the game iconic. First off was a compelling foil in Proto Man, an enigmatic anti-hero who shows up occasionally and actually adds a bit of emotion to your adventure. Then there's Rush, your wonderful canine sidekick who has an array of abilities that help you find various nooks and secrets throughout the levels. Finally, Mega Man 3 introduced the side ability, which completely changed the way Mega Man himself felt as a character. Oh, slide ability, I'm sorry. Not the side ability, for the decades afterwards. So yeah, Mega Man 3 is definitely one of the first games I ever played in my entire life. And I had it on the original Nintendo, I had the original game, of course. And it was, let me tell you, I had the best time of my life, but also the worst time, because that game was difficult as hell, considering I was 4 or 5 years old playing it. Yeah, it was definitely a crazy hard game. But it seriously had the coolest introduction, like startup music, title music, best soundtrack I think out of all the original Mega Man games. It really has such a diverse soundtrack to it. For all the Robot Masters and stuff, they're so designed completely different. It's crazy. It's crazy how differently they sound and how memorable they are. Also, it definitely, yeah, it's one of the best platformers probably of all time, to be honest. It still holds up great. It hasn't even aged that bad. You can still enjoy the game if you play it, especially that you can get like the Legacy Collection or the Anniversary Collection on the GameCube and the PS2, or get the Legacy Collection on all platforms, current gen consoles. But Mega Man 3, it was definitely the game that the first Mega Man game that I played, and one of the first games I played ever. I never got to play the first 2 games, but I'm kind of glad because Mega Man 1 was a bit, you know, it was the first game, so it's a bit clunky. The platforming needed some work, and then 2 was doing a lot better. They were heading in the right. It was a true sequel. Felt like a true sequel you can enjoy. And then 3 was definitely just the cherry on top. That's what made the series fantastic. It did what it needed to do. It became better than its predecessors. And that's when Mega Man kind of takes a steep decline, because 4, 5, and 6 were all pretty decently good games, but they weren't as memorable. No, Mega Man is a male. You're thinking of his friend Roll, which is the blonde-haired girl. But welcome, Juicy Poops. I always find the most interesting of people. Well, welcome. But yeah, is it Mega Man a man? It's got man in it. But yeah, Mega Man 3 is fantastic. So check it out. You should definitely. If you haven't played Mega Man at all and you're still curious, maybe you got a little bit of curiosity for that type of great platforming, old school platforming especially, you retro players, then yeah, check it out. I mean, you know how many people do speed runs for the original Mega Man games? The speedrun community is insane on old school Mega Man games. Thanks, Mazzy. Ah, you were. Yes, Metroid Spoilers is a woman, and you find out if you beat the game in under a certain amount of time. For the very first game, you have to do that. But yeah, that revealing of Metroid being a woman, or Samus in the end, in the first game was definitely the eye-opener to video games. etc., etc. So that is number 89. So let's show some little fun hints here. So while many fans consider it the best game in the Mega Man franchise, Mega Man 3 is Keiji Inafune, least favorite from the classic series. Mega Man 3 debuted 2 major characters in the Rush and Proto Man. This was also the first game where Mega Man could slide. So yes, maybe this was Keiji's most difficult Mega Man game to make, or maybe it went through development hell or something. You never know. Kind of like how Halo 2 went through development hell. It happens, but it turns out to be one of the best in the series. So it paid off. Breaking the barriers. There's no such thing as lead female characters. No, not in movies or video games. All right, so we're moving along to number 88. Soul Calibur. Yes, I have heard of Summoning Salt on YouTube. Wait, isn't that the Khajiit guy? Like, I'm not subscribed to him, but I think my roommates are subscribed. That's the Khajiit guy, right? From like Skyrim or this Elder Scrolls. Pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you want to do like a little reference on like one of the videos he's most known for. So Soul Calibur is number 88. Oh, that's right. Yes, you were correct. Yes. Summoning Salt, yes. My friends and I were watching him. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like that guy, how he does those types of videos. I appreciate correcting me. Soul Calibur, number 88, released in 1998. Soul Calibur is that rare sequel that supplements the original. The successor to 1995's Soul Edge. Soul Calibur perfected the formula for 3D weapon-based fighting games, a smash hit in arcades, and the first must-have game for the Dreamcast system, which is one of the games that I had for the Dreamcast as well. Soul Calibur is remembered for its balance, imaginative characters, and smooth combat. In the flood of new fighting game franchises that were introduced in the mid-90s, Soul Calibur separated itself from the pack because the core gameplay mechanics were so strong. Any fighter, whether a ninja, pirate, knight, or warrior monk, could challenge any other, and the outcome would depend on the skill of the player. There is a reason why this fantastical tale of swords and souls has spawned so many sequels. Summoning Salt's pretty good. He's not cringy when I was watching. He has some pretty good self-explanatory stuff. Although he sounds pretty nonchalant when he's doing his discussions and like descriptions, but that's fine. But yeah, Soul Calibur was one of the games I had for Dreamcast, and was probably one of the first games where I was like really into like becoming amazing at the game. It took me a while. There were a lot of really fun fighting mechanics in the game. I really loved characters. My favorite character was Killick, because Killick, I guess, which was funny because my favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle is not Donatello, who uses a stick, but uses, I like Michelangelo. I'm the party dude, but Killick uses the staff as well. And yeah, he's freaking awesome. He was my favorite character to get good at. I liked Ivy. I liked Cervantes, and those are seriously my favorite characters. It was really cool to have Out of Bounds in the game, although it could be kind of annoying, but because ring outs happen so frequently in the game, and you definitely, if you're playing competitively in that game, you definitely, it would definitely suck. But I'm pretty sure the Dreamcast did have some type of online, like web browser thing. I remember we had that, but Soul Calibur wasn't online, so I never really got a chance to play against any online opponents. But Soul Calibur was definitely one of those awesome 3D fighting games that I had a blast to play. I must have played it for countless hours and beat everybody's story arc at least 3 times because that's how fun it was. And yeah, it was really... Oh, I also like Siegfried. Siegfried was really cool too. So maybe that's where my fascination for big swords came out. Not like blowing big swords. But yeah, definitely Soul Calibur is definitely great. If you're referring to StarCraft Korean speedrun, I don't even know what that would entail of. From what I saw, Summoning Salt just does retro games for speedruns, talks about them. Super Mario on the NES was fantastic. Definitely one of my favorite platforming games I've ever played. Super Mario World is just an amazing, amazing masterpiece of a game. Whew. Okay, so let's look at the little fun tidbits. The Dreamcast version of Soul Calibur was an early example of a home console port's graphics exceeding that of its arcade original. It's the second highest rated game on Metacritic alongside Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and Grand Theft Auto 4. You can play the Dreamcast version using the console's motion sensing fishing rod controller. What? I guess it's like playing Guitar Hero on Dark Souls and just destroying your opponents, which is crazy, by the way. Oh, that's right, the arcade. Soul Edge was on the arcade. So yeah, console version looked better than the arcade version. Console game or arcade games were pretty great looking back in the day. So that's it for number 88. Let's go for number 87. Hello, No Name. Welcome to the NIKO Show. We're just getting to number 87 of our top 100 game list. Hey, welcome. Hackanatron? Okay, sorry if I get it wrong. Hackanatron. There we go. Welcome everybody. We're on number 87. This is NIKO Show. I shall tip my hat to you all. I don't have bald hair, but all of my hair is a little messed up right now. But I am a human being. I am not a robot. I am not a robot. Okay, anyway, it's getting really hot in this room, if you know what I mean. So let's continue to number 87. So, SimCity 2000. Oh, dang. We're getting to like nostalgia so hard right now. Like my heart is just being pierced with this nostalgia arrow, bro. So, SimCity 2000 released in 1993. How ironic. How cities would look like at the year 2000. So, SimCity 2000. SimCity 2000 may not be the most complex or original of the city building series, but it's definitely the most iconic. The sequel to the original SimCity is a beautiful, funny, detailed sandbox that gives players control of a huge customizable map that they can manage how they see fit. You can build a perfect metropolis, see little sailboats in your marina, and it gets even better. And your cars on your streets gets a statue built in your name. Keep your advisors happy by building mass transit and hospitals. Or you can burn it all to the ground with catastrophes like earthquakes and alien attacks. What? Compared to the other entries in the series, the game hits that player agency sweet spot, so you feel like you're empowered to save your city without being overwhelmed by choice. You need to make sure your Sims have access to electricity and water, but also that they're safe. Yeah. Have access to healthcare, and the roads are maintained as your city grows. You'll have to keep track of things like mass transit, and success always seems just a stadium away. Plus, there's never been a more satisfying feeling than zoning a land for residential and first seeing people move in. Hey, Mazzy, welcome. Oh, the Mazzy Dragon's in the house. Wow, I am so honored, my friend. So guys, if you're just tuning in right now, we're just talking about top 100 video games of all time. I will show you the page real quick. This is on IGN.com. You can always just type it into the web links so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. And if you're curious about the music that's playing in the background, this is by Multiplayer Charity, a tribute to video games. You can get on iTunes and, let's see, Materia Collection or Bandcamp. I think it's Materia Collection. So if you got $12 or $7, depending on what website you go on, you should definitely buy this album if you like gaming remixes and covers and making it really cool, sound cool. So yeah, SimCity 2000 was definitely a game I never got a chance to really dive into. I wasn't really too much into these type of city simulator games. Of course, this was great when you had like Roller Coaster Tycoon, you got SimCity, and especially if you're, yeah, and you could play this on the PlayStation. The PlayStation 1 could handle this. I had friends that could play it like no problem. No problem. They had a great time. I actually just had a great time watching it, and it was always funny to see them just cause like catastrophic events to their cities, like earthquakes or tornadoes or aliens coming in. Yeah, it was a whole lot of interesting things that they would experiment with. And yeah, I don't know if anybody's played the latest entry, which was a disaster thanks to EA by offering all those crazy paywalls and lack of content and all that stuff. So definitely sucks that the latest entry was just a failure at launch, but you can always enjoy the classics at your fingertips, and it definitely is a very exciting game if you like those types of creation simulator games. Oh my god, they put Pokemon on the list. Yes, they did, didn't they? Pokemon Go. Yeah, Pokemon Go was number 100, which is surprising, right? It's really surprising. Okay, so that was number 87. So Did you know before reticulating spleens became an iconic phrase on the load screens in The Sims? It was coined as an inside joke for SimCity 2000. So yeah, especially if you like The Sims, I mean, you can like People Simulator or City Simulator. It depends on you. One of the disaster scenarios directly inspired by the Oakland Hills firestorm 1991, which was destroyed designer Will Wright's home. If you build a library, click it and select Ruminate, and you will be treated to an essay from Neil Gaiman on the living nature of cities. See? Great things. I think the best thing about video games is when developers put some really cool, like, hidden tidbits in there, or, like, secrets. Easter eggs is what they call it. Happy Easter egg. Okay, so let's move on. That was number 87. We're going to move to number 86 now. So everybody hold hands and make sure you're with your adult. An adult. Number 86 is Contra. Oh, this is where everybody got super triggered. The Konami code. Released 1987. Let's see. Say it with me. Up, up, down, left, right, BA, start. That's the Konami code, everybody. The most iconic secret in video game history became a litany for the millions of kids who joined Bill and Lance on their quest to destroy Red Falcon. While a truly skilled player can clear Contra on a single credit, the power of the 30 lives code gave all of us a fair chance to power our way through the gauntlet of alien invaders, or more likely die trying. Contra was one of the few cooperative video games of the 8-bit era where player 2 didn't feel like a burden dragging you down with every step. With plenty of weapon drops to go around and hordes of enemies coming from every direction, a partner's firepower was a welcome addition in most situations, and if a friend couldn't keep up the pace on the waterfall level, you could easily incentivize them to improve their skills by scrolling the screen upward and killing them, which I did whenever my little brother lagged behind. Yeah, so definitely Contra is one of those most difficult games ever made on the market. You could say that with Super Star Wars and Ghouls and Goblins, especially around that era, and the original Ninja Turtles game. We're talking about like on the first Nintendo, and those games still hold up to be one of the most difficult of games. To be honest, I just think any old original Nintendo game is difficult because they show no mercy. So I'm glad Dark Souls and Bloodborne still retains that spirituality of it, and Cuphead that has that difficult aspect to it, that challenge. Ooh, remember when challenge was a thing in games? Oh, man, where did the time go? So yeah, Contra was definitely a game that I never got a chance to play growing up. I never had it on. I never had one Contra game growing up. I never really played any of them, but I guess I played it a couple times at a friend's house, and then my brother bought like a Contra game for the Game Boy Advance, and I played a little bit of it. But yeah, the Konami code was never a thing I really grew accustomed to. Like to be honest, TBH, I only learned about the Konami code maybe like a month ago. Stick that in your anime. Yeah, the first level is what did it for a lot of people. The first level was crazy. Yeah, it's the wild level, and it's like jumping around, and you do a flip when you get hit, and you're just dead. So, did you know the NES's version use of the Konami code to grant players 30 lives also popularized the iconic cheat among North American audiences? Its North American localization changed the setting from the year 2063 to 1987, the year the arcade version debuted. The UK version changed the human characters into robots. Why the fuck would they do that? I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. But Contra, definitely a game that players do remember playing growing up and having the worst time of their lives. My rage quitting game was Mega Man 3, and I'm pretty sure Mega Man 3 was nowhere difficult compared to Contra, because Contra, let's just say you get hit once and it's kind of all over. Just like I said, Ghouls and Goblins the same way. Alright, so we're going to move to number 85, and we're going to get to an indie game. Well, that's surprising. I'm probably going to see a lot of that, by the way. Inside was number 85. Released in 2016, the same guys who made Limbo made this game. With the mechanical abandon of a Mario game and the worldview of Werner Herzog, Inside spends its 3 brilliant hours of life holding the player in a loop of intrigue, delight, and disgust. Playdead's bleak, gorgeous puzzle platformer builds on its predecessor Limbo in all the right places. Hello, color palettes. Goodbye, boring gravity puzzles. It leaves us with a game that sleekly, wordlessly pivots from brain teaser to body horror. until hitting an ending that ranks amongst the gaming's best, a masterpiece of animation, design, and an outright strangeness. Inside's quiet genius lies in how the puzzles creep beyond its ever-changing challenges and into its story. I spent as much time or more wondering about what it all means as I did play through. If you played, you understand. If you haven't, you need to. Yeah, man, I never played Limbo or Inside, so I can't really talk about it too much, but it did look pretty weird when I saw the like announcement trailers during like E3 and stuff. It was pretty spooky and pretty creepy, you know, one of those fever dreams you might have every now and then. But yeah, that's number 85 for Inside. So if anybody's played it, let me know if you liked it. You know, start talking about it. You know, start doing things. Grease me up. I'm a robot. Music for Inside was created by running synthesized sounds through a human skull. Vibrations caused most of its teeth to fall out. What? Oh. Oh, that's kind of rude. I'm not sick. It's just pollen count. Damn it. The look and movement of the thing was inspired by the boar god from Princess Mononoke, the squishy hero from Gish, and crowd surfing. Oh, that's really funny. Developer Playdead is partnering with sex doll manufacturer Real Doll for a mysterious $375 collector's edition due in early 2019. What the fuck? What? The fuck? Okay, that's kind of weird. All right, moving on to number 84. No. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I could see this. Number 84. No more sex doll talk. Super Mario Odyssey, released last year in November 2017 on the Nintendo Switch. Super Mario Odyssey takes the best elements from almost every Mario game and still manages to open up to a whole new level with powers and moves like never before. It is both a love letter to what came before and a fearless march into bold new territory, filled with treasure around every corner. Odyssey features, guess what, some of the best worlds I've ever had the pleasure of exploring, and the brilliance of its level design continuously opens up more secrets for those willing to prove their mastery of the techniques learned and understanding of how the world works. There's no other way to put it. Super Mario Odyssey is an absolute joy. Now, my roommate has beaten this game, and I got him a Switch for Christmas. You know, best friend perks. You know, if anybody wants to donate a Nintendo Switch to me with Super Mario Odyssey, hey, I'm all up for it. You know, cheers to you, mates. I'd have a life debt of a lifetime. I'd be the perfect Wookiee. Because Wookiees, you know, life debts with Han Solo. Anyway, so Super Mario Odyssey, yeah, definitely a really fun game. I played a little bit of it. I think I made it to like the third world or something. It was like the safari map. And yeah, it's great to play a game with really great frame rate, a brand new Mario game, and it definitely sell my kidney. I probably would, but there's some things I need to use it when I work out, you know, because all those chemicals that come out and juice me up. So yeah, Super Mario Odyssey is really, really fun. Definitely a very good game to come out on the first year of Nintendo Switch's console. Definitely helped with their sales. Included with Breath of the Wild. I mean, it's great to have two huge contenders, first-party games coming out the same year. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty great to see Nintendo still doing that. So I liked the open world mechanics and the fact that there are so many things to collect in each world. Like, it's just mind-boggling. And if you don't know where everything is and you want to just spend the whole time exploring, you can. But there's strategy guides for this game is very cheap on Amazon, which is kind of surprising. It's like 15 bucks. But yeah, you know, I never had to use a strategy guide for any Mario game because, you know, like in Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine, finding that stuff was the best part. Although it kind of gave you, it showed you like a little like quick idea where the shine sprite is or the star. Same thing with Mario Galaxy. Mario Odyssey doesn't really show you where those things are like entirely, especially like the secret ones and stuff, or a lot of like the side ones. But the main ones they do show, the main pieces you collect to beat the world. But you know, you get the idea. But yes, if you haven't played Super Mario Odyssey and you're still kind of conflicted on to get a Nintendo Switch, definitely I would say Nintendo Switch is the most unique console out there right now. That let's just say I think Nintendo Switch is the most unique. I think PlayStation 4 is the best gaming console, considering that a lot of time and effort is put into their first parties, third parties, and you know, exclusives, and they just have a great gaming console. They're about playing games. The Xbone, that's what I got first, which I made a mistake by doing that, and they just I just don't care about the Xbox One anymore. It's just a disasteroid. But Nintendo is doing great. there's a lot of great games coming out. Super Smash Bros. Is coming out this year. Also, a new Yoshi game. A Kirby game just came out. Let's see. And then there's another there's an official Fire Emblem game coming out this year too. So it's pretty good. So, and let's do, did you know, real quick, did you know the first Super Mario game with a vocal theme song, Jump Up Superstar? That's a very classic song, by the way. It's really great vocals. Kate Higgins, who provided the vocals for Jump Up Superstar, also voiced Pauline, the damsel in Donkey Kong, and a mayor of New Donk City. Wow. That's pretty cool. The presence of realistic people in New Donk City led fans to speculate that Mario isn't human, but director Kenta Matakura shot it down. That he isn't human. Woo! The theories that people come up with. He is human, people. Just because he goes to I mean, he's originally from Brooklyn, New York, even though this isn't Brooklyn, New York, but he's originally from an actual place. I mean, god damn. God damn. I mean, we can argue that maybe the original show isn't canon, but, yeah, he even has fucking nipples. I mean, come on. He even has nipples. It's just, you know, it's great to see that. Luigi's got a dick, you know. So Mario has nipples. Luigi's got a dick. You can see it in Mario Tennis, the new one coming out. And Luigi's got a bulge, man. It's been confirmed he's got a peekabee. And I did a NIKO show at one of my segments in one of my other NIKO show episodes. I did a segment on Luigi having a peepee. So let's move on to number 83. That was 84. So here's one I never played. Should I even talk about it? Yes. Number 83 is System Shock 2. And by the way, people, if you think this game isn't in the place it should be, let me know. I want to hear where you think the game should be in place of. I know a top 100 list is pretty hard, but you get the idea. So, say the word Shodan to any veteran PC gamer, and they're likely to do a full-body shudder, followed immediately by cracking a big smile. System Shock 2 paved the way for the genre-blending first-person games that are commonplace today, perfecting the formula years before anyone else would even try. Its premise was straightforward. You found yourself alone on a space station where you were apparently the only thing left alive, with the only organic thing, a rogue AI Shodan, wastes little time in establishing herself as your formidable opponent. On the way, you pick up elements of the backstory through audio logs, another design feature that's standard fare now, and can mold yourself in any way you choose, from a DPS/combat focus to a pure hacker that can infiltrate any system. System Shock 2 was tense, smart, and as great as it was immediately upon its release in 1999, ahead of its time. Yes, definitely one of the biggest PC games around that time, late 90s, early 2000s, especially with like Deus Ex and all that stuff. Unreal and Tribes, you know, PC was really great around that time. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, and then they are remaking the first game. I can't remember what studio is doing, but they definitely were doing really well with that first the remaster of the first game, but they put it on ice for now because they tried chewing more. They tried chewing too much of that nice Kickstarter meat. And so now they have to put it on delay or on hiatus or whatever you want to call it. So have fun for people that spend $1,000 on their remaster. Good job. That's why you should be careful when spending that much fucking money on a Kickstarter project. Those developers pull stuff like that all the time. But anyway, yes, System Shock 2 is definitely one of those big horror games that I never got the chance to play. I could easily play it, and I'm sure there's mods to make it even look better, but I just haven't had really of an interest to play it. Scary games are fun to me. I really enjoy them, but I don't know. I gotta be dared to play it, or I just gotta be in that certain scary mood. Like I really like Dead Space and Doom and stuff like that. I mean, Doom, you can consider Doom's not really scary, but if you play Doom 3 and the original Dooms growing up, then those were scary, at least to me. So anyway, that's System Shock 2. System Shock 2 did not initially enter production as a System Shock sequel until Electronic Arts signed on as publisher. Audio logs from a character named Norris were voiced by a System Shock fan who won the Get Killed by Showdown contest at a 4500 entrance. One of the keypad codes, 45100, is a reference to Fahrenheit 451. Wow. The more you know, folks, the more you know. All right. Oh, I was waiting for a Grand Theft Auto game. Number 82 is Grand Theft Auto Vice City, released in 2002. Yeah, 2002, people. As the second 3D game in the now mega series Grand Theft Auto, Vice City has enormous shoes to fill, coming off the groundbreaking statement that was Grand Theft Auto 3. And did it deliver? Set during the 1980s in Rockstar's Fast Mill of Miami, the violent sex and excess of this defining decade was slathered across a fully playable world of wannabe gangsters, sports cars, mountains of drugs, and briefcases full of bills. Ooh, I wonder how many lawsuits were against this game. Mining veins of content from Scarface, Miami Vice, and other seminal pop culture pillars of the era. Vice City had it all. A cast of larger-than-life characters and a rags-to-riches protagonist who builds his empire on the blood, sweat, and more blood of the sun-soaked, drug-addled, sex-crazed slice of Beach City. Yeah! And it's that 80s personality that popped up Vice City anytime its open-world gameplay started to falter. Much of that personality coming from the incredible soundtrack that is alone worth the price of admission. Grand Theft Auto Vice City is a sexy, sour, excellent send-up of the decade that will never die. Grand Theft Auto 3, I started getting the Grand Theft Auto 3, basically. That's when it all started with that type of gameplay and all that with Rockstar. Never played Vice City, didn't really care too much about it. Just didn't really catch my attention, although a lot of people did love it. But I definitely played a lot of San Andreas, which was pretty good. Sorry, I was checking out the cat. San Andreas is one of those really... Man, it just got really dark in this room. I apologize, people. Ooh, that lighting is crazy. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto 3 was definitely the one game where I just bullshitted the most in. As in, like, getting, like, the most star ranking. Trying to survive the most, you know, doing all those cheat codes. All those fun cheats. But yeah, I did have a lot of friends that did play Vice City quite religiously. So I can only imagine. I got bored of Grand Theft Auto 4. I owned Grand Theft Auto 5 for the Xbox. Never even really played the story. I was just playing it for the heist for Grand Theft Auto Online. And it was a gift for Christmas time. So that was pretty nice. But, yeah, I guess you could say I'm not really a Grand Theft Auto fan, right? I like Red Dead Redemption, which the second one's coming out this year. It's going to be lit. So anyway, let's talk about some fun things about it. Vice City survived 2 lawsuits led by anti-video game activist Jack Thompson, claimed it was linked to real crimes. The famously 80s soundtrack has resulted in a few licensing issues over the years. It seems certain songs cut from different versions. Its script was over 1,000 pages long and over 8,000 lines of dialogue was recorded. 4 times as much dialogue as Grand Theft Auto 3. Oh my god, that is insane. Okay, who's ready for number 81? I'm sure you already saw it, so I do apologize. Ooh, this is good, this is good. This is a game I'm playing right now. Follow me on the Twitch channel if you want to see me play some Persona 5 at night sometimes, you know. Spoilers, it's Persona 5. Released in 2017. Persona 5 feels like the Persona game the team always wanted to make but didn't have the technology to achieve. With hand-built palaces instead of procedurally generated dungeons, a stunning visual style and art direction, and a memorable and moving soundtrack, this easily stands out as the most impressive Persona game yet. Everything from the UI to scene transitions to animated cutscenes is absolutely dripping with style, and the battle system combines series staples with mechanics that haven't been in the franchise in over a decade, but perfectly balanced fights. All of that on top of a fantastic story and memorable characters make this one of the best JRPGs ever made. Yes, if you are a PlayStation owner and you like role-playing games, please check out Persona 5. You will be addicted to this game as soon as it starts. It's a very, very long story narrative-driven game. Very long. Very long. It is like about 90 hours for like casual play of the game. And that's just for the story. Now imagine doing everything else. I think. 90 hours doing everything else? But whatever. Yes, everything that this article has stated is completely true. It is so much fun playing this game. It's so well versed in its social interaction and RPG mechanics, and it's even got like Pokemon-like elements, collecting personas and stuff and using their powers. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's really cool. Now's the best time to become a Persona fan. If you even have a PS3, you can get Persona 5 for the PS3. It's out for both consoles. They came out at the same time. Because I'm guessing they wanted to release it for PlayStation 3 originally, but they just waited, I guess, to release it on PS4 as well. So I'm happy about that. I'm definitely happy about that. But yeah, Persona 5 is so much fun. I stream it all the time. And I hope to see you guys around playing it, or watching me play it sometime. I stream it through my capture card. It's only on the PlayStation 4 and PS3, so remember that. It's like a PC game that PC fans would love to have this game. Let's see, Café LeBlanc, where the protagonist lives, is named after Maurice LeBlanc, who wrote the Arsène Lupin books his initial Persona is based on. There are posters in Shibuya subway station for Riz Kujiwakawa from Persona 4 and Kanami Mashida from Persona 4 Dancing All Night. According to Morgana, cats turning into buses in extremely widespread cognition, a reference to the cat bus from My Neighbor Totoro. Aww, that's cute. That's a Studio Ghibli film. So I hope you guys remember that one. You remember that one? I remember. You remember? Yeah, we all remember. Alright, number 80, Grim Fandango. Which I could have got this game for free at one point on like Humble Bundle or something like that. Another game I haven't played, but released in 1998. They remastered it too. Few games managed to create a sense of place quite as well as Grim Fandango. Tim Schafer's final adventure game during his time at LucasArts is also arguably his best, and that's saying a lot considering his portfolio. Lead character Manny Calvera's incredible journey through an afterlife inspired by the Mexican Day of the Dead is marked with fantastic characters, impeccable writing, and clever puzzles. Right from the get-go, stepping into the shoes of a travel agent for the Department of Death is an absolutely hilarious adventure, brimming with creativity. It's one of those video games where you want to continuously revisit conversation trees and select every single dialogue option just to hear what Manny and the rest of the cast will say. It's a testament to the game's design that over 15 years after its initial 1980 release, the 2015 remaster proved that Grim Fandango's wonderful puzzles, story, and aesthetics hold up wonderfully. Not many games of era can say the same. Mario 64. So yeah, it's just, I think it's like one of those point-and-click adventures, like Monkey Island and stuff, and Clock Tower, Alone in the Dark as well. Yeah, try it out. Have fun. I like dialogue choices in games, and that's when they were starting to get into that type of stuff. With all those different choices you make in games, it's pretty outstanding. Let's see. Despite its critical acclaim, Grim Fandango wasn't immensely profitable and it's generally considered a commercial flop. Most of the musicians who performed on its OST were local performers from San Francisco's Mission District, including a mariachi band. Calvera, Manny's last name, means skull in Spanish. Ooh. Manny Skull. That's pretty cool. Jon Snow. Jon Skull. Jon Sand. Game of Thrones. Oh, snap. Who's triggered by number 79? Haha, I know you people are. The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker, released in 2003. The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker is a sensory delight. The music is cheery and memorable, and the cel-shaded art beautifully depicts a Hyrule centuries after Ocarina of Time. Finding Easter eggs and references back to the Hero of Time's world feels like a treat. But Wind Waker is never overshadowed by its predecessor. Instead, the seafaring journey is fun to navigate as Link takes to conducting the wind instead of controlling time. The Wind Waker is also wonderfully imaginative, not only in its story, locations, and characters, but also with its combat. More often than not, enemies, especially bosses, are defeated with Link's impressive arsenal of items. It was difficult to resist picking off an item from an enemy while sneaking around the Forsaken Fortress. The Wind Waker gives the player a sense of exploration, creativity, and mischief. Link does travel with pirates, after all. That isn't felt in other similar games of the genre. Now, finally, we get to the game to where I played on day one, and I beat it. It was great. I beat it on the GameCube. Very fun Zelda game. I lied. I didn't get it on day one, but I did get it eventually. Eventually, I got it. I think I got it as a gift from my ex-stepbrother. And yeah, I got finally time to play it. I beat the game. It was a lot of fun. It was like one of the first. It was really weird. It's one of the first Zelda games I beat without a strategy guide. I used a strategy guide for Ocarina of Time when I was growing up, because I think those dungeons I just thought they were too hard. Talking about like the elemental temples, like, or whatever, the spirit, shadow, and water, fire, those temples I use a strategy guide on. But the ones before that I didn't. But this game I vowed to not use a strategy guide for. I just played it the way it's meant to be played, obviously. And it was definitely a fun time. I had a blast playing it. It was fun, despite the the controversial thing which is the Triforce parts, when you have to get all these different maps and stuff, and yeah, that's a lot of people didn't like that, you know, a lot of people didn't like that. I mean, I can understand why you didn't like it. It wasn't too bad for me. I didn't mind it completely because the game is so aesthetically like brilliant and just a ton of fun, like roaming around and sea. But they tried fixing that in the HD version that came out for the Wii U in like 2015. So, you know, they knew the shortcomings on it, and plus riding around on a boat takes forever. But I mean, I never had a problem with that. I didn't think it took forever. Besides, you can teleport to different places like the main islands. So what are people really bitching about? They're just trying to bitch about stuff, you know? Just trying to bitch about stuff. And also, yeah, Wind Waker was definitely a game I was not looking forward to on its initial conception, because we were thinking we were going to get like an Ocarina of Time looking game. From that one really old gameplay trailer, the little teaser trailer we saw of like Link fighting Ganondorf, and we thought it was amazing looking. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see. In Wind Waker, Link is voiced by Sachi Matsumoto, who also provided the voice of Skull Kid from Majora's Mask. You can see real-world constellations in the night sky, including the Big Dipper and Orion's Belt. The audio used for the choo-choos is actually an argument between two Japanese men sped up and reversed. What? That's so crazy. See, you gotta love video game design. Oh! We were actually supposed to just do another 10 for this. I guess we went over that. Okay. Well, we'll stop for now, and we'll continue it another time. So, people, I know we're going to end it a little short today, but holy crap, it's getting really hot in this hot seat. But I hope you did enjoy what you saw of the NIKO show. Just to give you an example, I don't normally do top 100 lists like this, like completely whole segment of it. Usually I actually pick game article news and topics to talk about for at least an hour. So I do that, so don't shy away. The NIKO show is just, you know, we're just doing things great. It's always good to switch up and see what other people say. So far, people really like this top 100 list stuff because I've been getting some pretty good people chiming in and out. So I really appreciate it, guys, big time. So I hope to see you guys again. If you liked what you saw, please follow me on the Twitch channel. It's NikoTheLegend. And if you want to help me further my endeavors in the video game verse, check me out on my YouTube channel. The links are below. And I hope to see you all once again. So take care. Be safe and have a good time playing your favorite video games. And don't forget, Luigi has a penis.